say you are listening to Wrestling with Savage, the best podcast in the history of podcasts.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, Roger, you live by the champ. Her last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage, smackdown. Hold the title, this is Wrestling with Savage. Why?
Because they are the best tag team in the world today! Woo!
George.
Wrestling with Savage.
George, I think George just tried his resume for Tony Khan. I don't know. Up for George, huh?
We're Savage! Of course.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, Roger, you live by the champ. Her last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage, smackdown. Hold the title, this is Wrestling with Savage. Why?
I'm trying to give these two W's. Hey everybody, welcome to a very, very special episode of Wrestling with Savage. I'm here with none other than the Doctor of Cool, legion of alcoholics that follow this man around the world as he prepares to take over the business of professional wrestling. Welcome to Wrestling with Savage, Dr. Cool J. Klang. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well, man. How are you? How's it going? How's it hanging?
I'm fantastic, man. Coming off Christmas, coming off a lot of wrestling this year.
Coming off Coolsmas.
Oh, I like it. Coolsmas. I'm also here with Gilch. What's up, Gilch? Gilch is a big fan of yours, big fan of Creator Pro. And honestly, I've been a fan of yours since the first time I saw you. Mainly because I used to be a wrestler, right? So when I look at someone in the ring, I shape them up very quickly. As far as presence, the way they move, personality, and just overall demeanor in the ring. And you have dimples.
Yeah,
just like me. And you remind me a lot of me as far as like how you like to have a good time in the ring, how you like to get down. And you've had quite the career already, man. I mean, I want to just ask you first and foremost, how and when did you become a pro wrestling fan?
I became a wrestling fan back in 2009. I was at my cousin's house watching an episode of SmackDown. It was, the first match was R-Truth versus Ezekiel Jackson. A very, very memorable one. And I guess since then, that's what got me hooked on.
That's what did it for you right there. And you never stopped watching since then. You started picking up on Raw, SmackDown. Have you spent a lot of time over the years going back through the WWE archives? Are you trying to become like a student of the game as far as like knowing the legacy and the story and some of the wrestlers? Have you even had the time to do that?
I have had the time to do that. It's not so, I mean, at first it's not like a whole student of the game thing. It's just me it was kind of just me liking wrestling and wanting to watch a lot of it. And then once I eventually became a wrestler, I started wanting to get into wrestling as being in the ring and whatnot. That's kind of when I started studying and trying to watch to improve myself as a performer.
Was there a certain match or moment that really set that course on track for you that said, I can do this or I want to try this? Was there a match or moment, or was it just a feeling you had?
It was kind of just a feeling I had. You know, I always kind of dreamed about it, or I guess, you know, I thought about it as a kid. It's something like, you know, it's like, hey, like, you know, like it's something I could do. And then eventually once I got into high school and I kind of started like really thinking about it, like, oh, hey, you know what, maybe I could do this. And I started, that's kind of when I got into it most. And that's when I started following wrestling as much as I could, and that's when I got really into it, and I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
And once you started training, there was no turning back.
Yeah, exactly.
How old were you when you first started?
I first started when I was 18.
18, okay.
About a couple of months after I turned 18 is when I started.
Was the hardest day for you the first day? Or was it, like, did you even take bumps on day one? Or was it just calisthenics, jump rope, push-ups, running, the ropes? What was your day one like, if you could break it down for me? To give someone else who's an aspiring student maybe an idea of what they got to deal with.
Gotcha. Day one, I didn't learn bumps. A lot of people training, there's going to be a lot of different day ones. It's going to, maybe you start, like, you know, there's a lot of different things that you could learn on your day one, or you learn in your first month based on how consistent you are and how much you're training and if you're ready to progress. But my day one there was a lot of rolling around in the ring, doing front rolls, back rolls, just trying to get used to the feeling of being inside a ring and getting used to the feeling of, I guess, trying to be in control of my own body, because body control is a really big thing in wrestling. I briefly learned how to run the ropes, and then it was just rolling and running the ropes. That was pretty much it.
Listen, hitting the ropes is one of the hardest things to actually do out of everything in the ring. As far as, like, you know, when you first start, you gotta, like, get used to it. It definitely hurts, especially if you're leaning on them. I mean, I used to almost break the fucking ropes every time I would hit them in the ring when I was a kid. My first day of wrestling school consisted of about 100 push-ups, 100 jumping jacks, 10 minutes of jump rope, then jumping over, one of those body bags for, a while. Then I took about 400 fucking chops. That was my day one. 400 chops from a crazy man named Ben Lagerstrom. That was my trainer. Fucking lunatic. He used to wrestle with no sneakers on. So if you stepped on his toes while you were training, you were catching like 50 chops. That was me, though. What has your experience been like so far? 2 years in the game now. You're still training at Create a Pro. What is your take on the Create a Pro? Like, who have been your main trainers? How much experience have you had with Brian Myers and Matt Cardona? Just in general.
So, Matt Cardona doesn't train. He's not a trainer of the school.
Yeah.
The main trainers are Brian Myers and Pat Buck.
Yeah.
Max Caster was also. He ran class a lot when I first started. Aaron Rourke as well. He was training a lot there. There have been a lot of other graduates of the school who have become trainers, like Bronson. Stephen Azur's done a few classes. Mike Anthony's done a few classes. Liam Davis has coached classes. CPA has coached classes. There's a shitload of coach. Is it all right if I curse on here?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there are a ton of different trainers who have done classes. The main ones being Brian and Pat Buck, and learning from them is very, very very cool.
They know their shit, brother. You're in good fucking hands. Let me ask you. You got trained by Max Caster a couple of classes. What does it feel like being trained by a guy who's now pretty much running the tag team division on AEW, one of the major promotions in the world? How special is that for you, and what does it feel like?
It's pretty cool. I mean, he's really good. He's a great mind, and he taught me a lot, especially in the first year I was training, and he's doing great things now. So I'm glad that I got to learn under his tutelage. Yeah, man, a great honor, I would think, to be able to say, hey, man, I learned from Max Caster, I learned from, Brian Myers. I mean, you have a good lineage right now to your, wrestling legacy. Because right now, that's what you're doing. You're building your legacy, whether you know it or not, or whether you admit it or not. Deep down inside, somewhere in you, that's your goal. Your goal is to build a career out of this, to make a lot of money, and to put memorable matches, I hope at least, is your main goal. To give back to the wrestling community and give them something that they could talk about for years to come. So with that in mind, where do you see yourself in 2030? In 2030, I see myself, doesn't matter where, just making a living in wrestling and being able to do this on a consistent basis, being able to use wrestling as a creative outlet, whether it's as Dr. Cool, whether it's not as Dr. Cool, just being able to use wrestling to express myself creatively, and hopefully turn it into a living. That's the end goal for me, obviously, and just to have as much fun as possible, because if you're not having fun, there's...
Well, you picked the right career path if you're trying to have fun and have a good time, because I'll tell you this, there's no other job in the world like that of an active pro famous wrestler. You're living the life, you're traveling, you're seeing different cities, different countries, meeting new people all the time. You're never sitting still. There's some cons to it too, but if you play the game right, you get in early, you get out early, then you start your family. Very difficult to have a full family and then go on the road 300 days a year. So that would be my advice to you, is wait a while to start that family, unless you already have like 3 kids we don't know about yet.
Yeah, they just haven't shown them on camera yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, 7. Yeah.
How many you got? You got 1?
7.
7 kids?
Yeah.
My God, are you trying to really beat Heath Slater here?
Trying to be Nick Cannon, dude.
Nick Cannon? Damn.
Yeah.
All right, Gilt, you got any questions for Mr. Cool over here?
7 kids.
Yo, what did you just call me?
Who?
Did you just call me Mr. Cool?
Mr. Cool, yeah.
Bro, it's Dr. Cool. I can't. I'm just going to pretend like you didn't say that, all right?
Absolute coolness.
Like you didn't say that.
You don't like the Mr. Cool? Okay, Dr. Cool. I apologize. You are a doctor. I know that. I know
6 years medical school, and I...
He's upset
all
now.
right.
He's upset.
No, it's fine.
I apologize, Dr. Cool.
It's all right, man. Just don't do it again, all right?
I will never do it again. I think, I don't know why, the cameras have frozen. I don't know why. What's going on? Gilt, you have a question for Dr. Cool?
Number 1, nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you, too.
Big fan. I was a little late, to the indie scene. I'm 40, so I go back, Attitude Era, grew up during that. A lot of fun. Like I said, I'm a little late to the indie scene, and I found the Creative Pro shows, and I looked. Obviously, the first thing that attracted me to the shows was some of the high-end talent. Like you said, Brian Myers isn't called the most professional wrestler for not a reason, obviously. Pat Buck, man, not only in the ring, but what he's done from a production standpoint in every company out there. So, I mean, you really got the pathway there to just go. I mean, you could go and you look the part, you move well. So I'm excited for your future. A lot of the guys there. I mean, Bryce and Bobby are all over the place. Liam, Aaron Rourke. I mean, I'm looking at the roster and graduates, and I forget half the guys. Even Mike Anthony. I mean, the talent's there, man. So I'm excited to see where it takes you. One quick question I did have was, where did the idea? Was it your idea for the Cool Bra?
Yeah, the Cool Bra was my idea. It was it was a while ago, and I did it in one match. That was that kind of, it was just like a one-time thing. I kind of just did it for fun, and for after that, I kind of I guess I abandoned it for a while, because I don't know. It was just like I don't know. It's very silly. It's a very hokey idea, I guess you could say. And then I came back to it. I'm like, hey, you know what? Maybe we'll give it a shot. And then I use it in every match now. So it's become a staple.
Yeah, that shit got a good reaction.
Pops and pops, right?
It got some pops, for sure. People were popping. Yeah. We have a question from somebody watching. He's also on our show, one of our castmates, Anthony Corso. Wants to know, who's your dream opponent?
I'm Dr. Cool. It's got to be Carlito Caribbean Cool, man.
I like it.
It has to be it.
I like it, man. You've been in the ring with some big stars. I know I've seen you in the ring with Bully Ray. One of my favorite matches that I've watched from yours online was, I believe, against his name, Mr. Rourke.
Aaron Rourke.
Aaron Rourke. Yeah, that was a pretty good match, and you guys went for a while. Was that your longest match so far, time-wise, in the ring?
I believe so. I believe that was, I'm gonna say the video is 21 minutes long. I think the match is not to get into specifics, I think the match is like 17 or 18.
Yeah, it's up there. It's almost 20 minutes for sure.
Yeah, in the ring, I guess that might be the longest match.
Yeah, dude, I enjoyed watching that because, we actually got to see you, fucking wrestle. I'm seeing you do sunset flips. I'm seeing you do hip tosses. I'm seeing you taking bumps. I'm seeing you do punches, giving the super fucking bionic elbow. All of it, good shit, all connecting well, landing well. You sell very well. You got to keep it up and not stop and just keep going. And, the doctor is going to do business, I think. I think the doctor's going to be really good business. What's, right now, let's talk about 2023. New year coming up. What are some goals you have for 2023 as far as Create a Pro? Is there someone out there that you want to have a match with, or not just have a match with, someone that you want to go out there and kick their ass?
It's not someone, it's not anyone in particular. The one goal that I've got for 2023 is to be the coolest champ in the country. It's time Dr. Cool wins some gold.
I like it. I'm with it, man. I'm with it. They just had the Create a Pro Awards. I believe you were nominated in a couple of categories. Which ones did you win specifically? Did you
didn't win. I didn't win any.
You didn't win any, right?
I didn't
What's
win any.
up with that?
You know what, man? It was the off day for the alcoholics, so
this is your reason to start a beef with someone that I think you could have a good program with, and his name is the Sweeper.
The Sweeper.
And the Sweeper has been on this show before, and he didn't have much to say when I brought up Dr. Cool and having a match and this. I don't think he wants any beef with you. But I had a cool vision in my mind. Maybe he's sweeping one of your, offices, because obviously you're a successful doctor. You have offices all over the country, and people need to clean them. And he happens to clean one of them, and maybe you don't like the way he cleans. We have a match.
Fun fact. This is a real story. Sweeper actually sweeps. He's a custodian for Hotel California. One of my Hotel Californias. He's actually, I already employ him, so
that's awesome.
I guess
man.
I've kept him around, but you know what? I guess he's doing a good job. I don't really know. I don't really care about the guy.
Oh, he's not getting in your way, that's for sure. Because if he did, we all know what would happen. Dr. Cool would have to stomp him out. My God. All right. So let me ask you this. What's been your favorite match of your career so far, personally, that you were most proud of?
There's like a few answers. Even my go-to answer isn't like my number one, like for sure that's my favorite match. The match you brought up with Aaron Rourke that I had on Cap TV, that was a really fun match that I got to have with someone that I wanted to wrestle for a while, and I'm glad that out of all the Cap TV matches that could have been picked for the Match of the Year award or be nominated for, that was one of them, and I'm pretty proud of that for at least getting a nomination. The Fatal 4-Way I had back in April, I believe. It was me, Johnny Clash, Eric James, and CPA for the Cap Championship. Fatal 4-Way, that was a lot of fun for that match.
I was there for that one.
A really cool experience. My first live Cap match was against Mr. Tibbs, and I had a lot of family there to see that for my first match. And it was obviously not the best match since then. I like to think that I've gotten better, but it was a lot of fun and a really good first memory, or one of the first live audience memories that I've had in wrestling. Those are just a few that come to mind of my favorites.
I mean, you've had a great run, man. Early on, and I love it. I'm here for it. Do you have a current favorite wrestler in the world that you're watching to kind of get just inspiration off of, or do you even watch any of the current products today? Do you watch AEW, NXT, Impact, anything?
I do watch the current product. I do like to watch a lot of old stuff just to see what's see what's not going on in the world right now and what's not being used or what people aren't seeing, and try to, you can't be original in wrestling. Like pretty much everything's been done, but just to try and,
for the most part, yeah,
try and be as creative as you can with things that I guess the fans aren't so accustomed to seeing, I guess you could say. I'd say Chris Jericho's a big guy that I watch a lot of like early 2000s Jericho, even some of his like later 2000s stuff I really enjoy. He's one of the guys I've been watching Dude Love a lot recently. He's just like for certain like character, I don't know what the word is, but like characteristics or pantomime or like movements and like.
Well, Foley's one of the masters, 3 faces of Foley, technically 4 characters if you count Mick Foley, Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love. Guy can do it all. He's proven it. Good person to watch. Jericho, another great person to watch. I suggest you watch his WCW work, particularly the day that he did the list. And you see how he was just getting heat for like 7 minutes reading off a fucking, like, endless pieces of paper. And then, of course, his matches with Eddie Guerrero and, Chris Benoit. And there's a lot to learn from just those couple of matches. And Mick Foley, great guy. Mick Foley, just like the sweeper worked for you, Mick Foley worked for me for a couple of hours one day. When I hired him to come do autographs at my video game store, it was the grand opening of my store. We had Mick Foley come. He came down with the kids. And, he's one of those guys that you should definitely watch. If you get a chance, watch his shit in ECW, and you won't regret it.
Yeah, sure.
Watch Cactus Jack go to work in ECW. What's up, Gilch? What you got for us?
I was gonna say, is there? I mean, you mentioned Jericho. Is there an active guy right now that, like, you watch him in the ring and like the way he moves in the ring, you're like, okay, like I want to model myself after that guy? If there's not one guy, there's not. I'm just curious.
Not really. No.
Do you have a preference right now on brand? Like, let's say you can only catch one show this week, right? Which one are you watching?
I don't really have a preference at all. I kind of just, it's wrestling. I kind of just enjoy watching it.
Okay. Well, like us, you're probably a WWE guy deep down if you started watching WWE. It gets you as a kid. It got me as a kid. It got everybody as a kid. That's why we're all here. That's why I do this show. That's why I watch. That's why you got into wrestling. And anybody who tells you differently is fucking lying to you. Just know that. The Vince brought us all to the goddamn dance. Been a long time since I've actually loved pro wrestling the way I'm loving it the last year. I'll be honest with you. I had my years where I had to stop watching, mostly because I was either too busy with life or the product got stale or a combo of both. But right now you're entering a time that wrestling is in such a fucking demand and resurgence right now. I can't even explain to you the opportunity you have in front of you, brother. You have the opportunity right now to absolutely control your fucking now I'm fucking up. Destiny. You can really control your own destiny and what you want to do, where you want to go, and how you want to get there. You know what I mean? Because you've seen, there's so many guys that have shown the example of that. You've got guys like Drew McIntyre, who had a small run, who called the Chosen One, got fired, made a name for himself on the indies all over the world, toured everywhere. Guys like AJ Styles, who just stuck with Impact and, TNA for so long to the point where we can't ignore him anymore. He's that goddamn good. We got to bring him on the ship. He's got to come on board. So you have an opportunity right now, man. I just want you to really take full advantage of every single gift that God has given you, because you got, a hell of a physique. You look like you're strong as fuck. I don't even know, how much can you bench?
I can do like, I don't know if I want to disclose that.
Right, no problem. But you look like a big boy. You look like you're definitely strong. And you look like you can get even bigger, is my point. I think you have the capacity to probably look like a Triple H if you wanted to. Like even thicker. Dude, you got the frame, you got the shoulders, you got the neck, and you got a nice looking face. You know what I'm saying? They'll put your ass on a t-shirt, man.
Stop it.
Dr. fucking Cool.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
You have a lot of different social media platforms. I want to just give a shout out to them and what you guys, what you do, basically. Everybody check this out right here. This is all of Dr. Cool's pages. This is his Twitter. Make sure you go follow Dr. Cool J Clang on Twitter. He also has the link tree, so you can get all his links in one shot. And you're going to go and you're going to look for him on TikTok, Dr. Cool. You're going to go to his YouTube, though. And we're going to get that subscription number up because you need to hop on the train now. Whether it's today or in 5 years, 10 years, this man is going places and you should be there for the ride. So make sure you follow him on YouTube. And then, of course, go follow him on Instagram because I said so. God damn it. Dr. Cool is the man. And we appreciate you for coming on this show. Gilch, do you have any questions for Dr. Cool before we let him go? Because Dr. Cool's a busy man. He's probably got to go save somebody's life right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I don't doubt it. No questions. Yeah, but just to piggyback off what Savage said, I mean, yeah, I think I'm learning at a great time. I mean, even these indie shows, I mean, they've been packed lately, and I think it's like we mentioned the last year in pro wrestling. I mean, I think a lot of people have Tony Khan to thank for that because he allows his performers to do whatever the hell they want. And obviously, we've seen the downside of that lately with some backstage drama. But on the same token, when some of these kids watch AEW, kids, I mean, you guys my age, you see a guy watch on AEW on national television Wednesday night, and then you find out, wait a minute, he's fighting Saturday night at my local Elks Lodge. So I think that's kind of even pumping up the indies a little more, and just excited to see where it all takes you, brother.
Hell yeah, man. Super excited. I only got like 1 or 2 questions, and then we're going to let you go to go save the lives. I'm going to ask you, Jose Cora's in the chat, and yes, Jose, I'm going to ask him your questions because he's also one of our cast members. But I need to ask you before his question. I'm more important than him because this is my show.
Well,
what do you feel like with MJF? What is your experience with MJF? Have you met him? Have you been in the ring with him at all?
I have met him. He's stopped by. He stops by every now and then for a class. He's also a really cool person to learn from. I think.
Oh, he'd probably hate you right now if he hears this.
What?
He'd probably hate your ass for saying he's a nice person.
I never said he was a nice person. I just said that I before. That's all that happened.
That's all that happened.
Yeah, that's it. That's
That's awesome.
Yeah, every now and then you'll stop by the school. Of course, one of the most, probably the most well-known Cap graduate, obviously AEW champion at the moment. See him every now and then. He's obviously doing
pretty good.
Right,
doing pretty good. Has he surprised you, or did you know that this was where it was going for him?
I wouldn't say it surprised me. I think he's really good and he's really entertaining, and it was I don't know what the phrase is that I'm trying to think of, but like I guess the cards were in place, and he just capitalized and became what he is now. So.
And he had the platform, he had the opportunity, and that's what it's about, my friend. When you have the platform and you're given the opportunity, you make the most of it. And MJF absolutely has done that. Jose Cora wants to ask you, have you ever worked with Demon Cole?
With who?
Demond Cole, I don't know. Apparently.
Desmond Cole?
Desmond Cole, there you go. He said, I'm only reading what he wrote, so he can't even read. You see, he can't even spell the guy's name. Desmond Cole.
Might have been autocorrect situation.
Maybe.
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever wrestled Desmond Cole, but I think that would be a really fun match to have.
And he had one other question. He said, talk about your match with Shotgun Adams. How was it working with him?
It was a fun match. I do like being in front of that crowd. It was a lighter crowd for the tryout show, but they were still loud. They were still into it. It was a good experience. It was a fun match. I enjoyed it. I got to do things that I wanted to do. It was only a few months ago, so it was pretty recent. So Yeah, it was fun. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
All right, that's awesome, man. Again, appreciate you coming on the show. Do you have anything you want to leave us with as far as like the next Cap show coming up, or something we should be looking for?
Maybe stay. An announcement may be coming on social media soon. Not gonna give away too many details. Not gonna say when, but it may be coming soon.
Okay.
Just keep your eyes peeled.
You heard it here first, folks. Dr. Cool says keep your eyes peeled. And what I want you to do right now, like I said earlier, make sure you go follow this man everywhere on social media, starting with his Instagram. And then also do not forget to go to the most important thing of all, the Pro Wrestling Tee Store. Because Dr. Cool has his own goddamn T-shirts for $19.99, $20.99. Dr. Cool is in the fucking house. Dr. Cool, I'm going to be purchasing a shirt tonight, and I'm going to encourage all the members of the Busted Open Nation to do the same goddamn thing. Again, Dr. Cool, thank you so much for being here with us on Wrestling with Savage. Hopefully we can have you on again later on down the line at some time. Gilch, thank you for joining me for this, and we'll see you all next time right here on Wrestling with Savage. Everybody have a good night and take care.